Hello, here's a little demo with Backdrop Designer. Now this is an image that I found online. It's an AI generated image, so the copyright's kind of out the window, but I'm just going to use it for a kind of example here. So I've imported the image into the user set. To do that, you just click here and then fetch the file and it becomes a brush, and then you can stamp it down with this icon down here, which just basically fills it as much as possible. I've then chose one of these colours and right click to get a tone that I like here, and I've just gone for black by right clicking on black, so the two sky colours become black and makes this border. And I want to do some more stuff, so I'm just going to switch to let's see, 3. It's got some oil painting things here, and I'm just going to right click, alt and right click to pick this colour, and then switch this to new colour. And you can see it's giving me this. And I'm just going to bring the opacity down and change the Y scale a bit, and then I'm just going to start stamping around and right click and get rid of some stuff I don't want a person in it. This is one of those things where AI likes to add people all the time. I'm going to click on random flip X because I want it to vary this brush a bit. In fact, I'm going to control click a couple of these oils. Let's see, that one's horizontal, that one I don't want, so these two, that one, alright, and that one as well, and those will do. So it's going to vary between those brushes. You can see it changing the brush up here as well, so we get a nice random effect. So alt and right click, pick some colour, and I'm going to stretch even more, so Y scale even more like that. And it's not really a painting tool, it's more of a plotting tool, but you've got like quite a lot of plot memory up here. As long as you don't go crazy with it, then it's going to handle it. The frame rate will drop because it's plotting all these things in runtime, every frame. So it's quite good. It looks like a tree stump there. I'm going to blur the brush a little bit so it's softer. Let's bring that scale back and scale it down. You can use the mouse wheel to scale, or you can hold down space and change brush size. You can also play with the rotation. You can use E and R for rotation. If I'm going to do a little bit of texture on this, just right click, alt and right click here. You can see I can just put in a little bit of texture into that. I'm going to turn off the random flip because it's kind of confusing me, and I'm just going to click on one of these brushes, so it's just a single brush. I'm using E and R to rotate. Just fix up this little bit. Of course, I've got a little tree stump there, and I've got a whole lot of mess here that I also want to clean up. It's just too noisy. Now, if you want to like go into sort of a paint mode, you hold down Shift whilst you hold down the left mouse button, and it will just constantly plot, right? The problem with that is it eats up the plot memory very quickly. As you can see, it's plotting very fast. So I'm just picking some colours here. Let's bring that opacity down and thin these a bit more. Okay. Now I don't have any scattering effect added to the brush, like jittering around. Again, it's not really a painting tool, it's more of a plotting tool. So one way to do that is just to like pick between different brushes, so you can use control and pick a few and it'll randomly pick different ones. Right, so that's that. Now I'm going to switch to pixel mode. So I'm just going to use this slider here, and it goes straight into a pixel shader overlapping the original image. So what I want to do actually is capture this image Right, if I press B, you can see it's captured the whole thing as a brush. I'm going to go to layer 13 and then use additive blending and plot it down with this one, so it just stamps directly over it. And press B to undo that. Now, it starts to flash with this because this additive blending is kind of like a dynamic thing. It's not going to export with this, so you have to capture it again, which kind of takes a capture of this image as new, and then you can get rid of that one, and or you can just plot it down over it. Doesn't really matter. I can actually do an undo to undo that last thing, and then plot this down over it. Right, and now I've got control of brightness, and that's kind of just what I wanted there. So I'm going to the pixel mode and play with that. And you got all these other ranges and things as well you can mess around with, and until you get a kind of particular look that you like. I quite like that one. This one's kind of quite clean, but not much range. Yeah, I like this one. Okay, so you can change the range of that. Go into different blend modes. You see this. This one's kind of the most noisy. These two are sort of similar, and then this one's really dark. It just depends on the final look. Another thing that I can do is I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'll go out of the pixel mode just so that I'm screenshotting without the pixel shader. So I'll screenshot it and then plop that down. And I just want to show you, so in this layer 16, if I click on preview, what it's going to do is kind of change things in that layer, everything to do that layer. So if I change the original color to new color, all the plots in that layer are getting changed to this. So every single color that it can detect is getting turned to grey. But if I choose different ones here, you can see I can get like an old sepia tone photo looking thing like that. Black and white, and that can be used to like enhance stuff. So I'm going to switch to pixel mode again, and now I can kind of control the grayscale level of this, and I can just toggle it off and on to see the difference, right? And if that's, you see it's still active, I can play with all these different tones, how they mix over it. Right, you can play with the tone and obviously the opacity. So to play with the opacity, the layers right click and drag, and it just changes that little bar behind it. And that's that little hint of blue helps to cool the image a bit there. Right, you can also customize these colours. You can change it to whatever you want. You can make it brighter so it's actually becoming like a negative. Up the top left here you can see a preview of what you're actually getting. So if I come out of the pixel shader and bring the opacity up, it's exactly the same thing that you're getting there. Okay, so that down and preview the layer and play with these tones. Now it's somehow switched to this brush. Okay, it's no big deal. So when it captures this screenshot, it doesn't actually store it as a brush. You'd have to use this to capture it as a brush. So just a side note, I might actually change that later, a different version. So there's all these different pixel modes as well. You can play around with which one that you like. So I'm just going to play with that layer again and do that. And if you like, you know, all of this stuff, so you see how it's previewing whatever layer I'm on. So if I come off that layer, it's actually going back to the default. So that's another little way to compare it. But if you're happy with it, just click bake, and it means that everything in that layer is going to get these new updated tones, and that's that. So yeah, another cool thing you can do is add a CRT effect, which kind of does a CRT effect like that. And if you really like everything, you can capture the whole thing again. So it's basically a baked version of this. I'm going to go to layer 20 and stamp it down, and you see it goes weird because it's actually applying the pixel shader over that. So you want to come out of the pixel mode, and then you'll get an actual the finished product, and with the texture filter over that, it looks quite good. You can also do preview in that layer. You can change the tones if you want, but you can actually bring in a little bit of blurriness, you know, to see how it would look if you were to squint your eye almost, and you get the same sort of effect down in the preview there. Right, it's kind of like your TV is a bit fuzzy, so I mean that's almost a true to life CRT effect there, apart from the warping of the screen or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I would go about, maybe if you've done any artwork, you know, bring it in here. You can see I've been messing about with a whole bunch of stuff, experiment with different things, and I've been posting quite actively on that. The first 8 sets is all your custom brushes. Set 8 is a lot of the Commodore 64 pixel shader based brushes. You can see how I'm switching into C64 mode there, how it's trying to convert those colours again, and you get a kind of added effect to that because it's a little bit fuzzy. Yeah, there's loads of different brushes in here. You can replace any of them at any point in time, and then the next time you open it up, that'll be your new brush. So for example, I could right click on this big branch, delete this brush forever. Some of the designer files are dependent on this, but there isn't any dependency. I've not made any images with this brush, and rarely do I ever save project files. So now that that's gone, I can find another image, and like here's one of my little daughter, and she'll be loaded in there, and I can pixel art little Sophia there, and you get this kind of converted version. Now it does convert them, but it doesn't take into account color restrictions, like the amount of colors per 8x8 block, and you can bring this overlay grid to see that. But I would recommend doing that in an actual pixel editor or a Commodore 64 pixel editor, but you can bring this in as your starting point. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, and you can play with these different modes to see what results you like best, and you have different ranges and stuff, and even just through different color palettes. Yeah, so that's good fun. So I'm just gonna undo that. So yeah, that's like that brush now. And if I was to, let me just export this image first. So export image, and let's do desktop C64 fuzzy. Right, and I'm also actually going to turn off a texture filter, turn the blurriness down, turn off that layer. Shit, I forget where I put it now. So that's a baked CRT effect, pixel mode. Turn the blending off. I've kind of messed up because this brush is now baked CRT into it, but that's okay. So if I was to press F6 to restart, you can now see that that first brush is always going to be that, right? So you can totally customize all these sets by right clicking, get rid of it, left clicking, bring in a new one, and you also have your user sets here. There's more than enough brushes. Usually I just leave these first sets alone, and then you can use these user sets, and you can always clear them out by doing clear custom files, and that also resets everything back to normal. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoy using this tool. You can catch it on Itch, so I'll just go here and go to Itch site. It's actually awkward. Okay, I need to update the link, but it's actually here, and I'll post this in the YouTube video link. Thanks for watching. Bye.